get them. Did it start under the new one?
I didn't start under the new one. I started under the same one.
Okay. Yeah, we should be back and live. You guys see us back again? You might have to refresh.
The Matrix is up.
The Matrix is up. Yeah, guys, we had to restart the render box. I don't know what happened there, but the render box is like a, it's only like an i5, right? It's an i5 6600K with like 16 gigs of RAM and like a 1080.
8 gigs of RAM.
8 gigs?
8.
I'm horrible. That's getting replaced. No, 8 should be honestly fine. I mean,
4-core i5.
4-core i5 is horrible though. That we're gonna have to upgrade that to like a new Ryzen or something.
What are you making me work with?
Yeah, I know. I'm making this horrible computer equipment. I mean, all of our stuff goes into rigs, not render equipment. But we'll get that fixed.
I think I have a 6-year-old laptop more powerful than this.
What?
Did it go away?
It kicked me out.
Go back into. You might need to re-render. All right, guys, we're gonna get this back on show on the road. So this is the default stock clocks on this 560 Ti. I did not touch anything. It already had the temperature pegged over to 90, which is pretty funny. That's a linked, so you can see. I mean, I haven't done anything with that. It's pretty interesting. 1295 on the core. Memory's at 1750. So we could just come in here and put this at 1850. And we'll leave everything else the same right now. I'm just going to see what this thing does with just a little minor bump to the memory without the timings. We're going to do the timings next, so don't fear. Man, I really need to get this one cleaned up too. Come down here, hit start on this. Just kind of do a benchmark here. We'll see here what this thing ends up doing. But it's just a minor bump on the overclock. Oh, I clicked the Decred dual mine. Close that one. We'll come back to that one. I don't want to do the dual mine right now. Did I do that on the start? Yeah. Start copy. Here we go. So proper Ethereum first, and then I'm going to go ahead and update in the Polaris editor real quick. We're going to flash the BIOS, bounce it, come back, and just see what this thing does. If this thing can get close to what the other one does, you would think that it would do a little better, maybe mid-14s, but...
You are moving up the windows.
I'm not moving it anymore. So we're at 14.39. It bumped it up about a half a mega, or about a mega hash. Not very good. The 460s right now are killing it.
What's your favorite ice cube flavor?
What's my favorite ice cube flavor?
Ice cream, not ice cube.
I was like, wait a minute.
You have flavored ice cubes?
Strawberry.
It's true.
It's true.
It is.
Oh, Vic gets here.
That's okay.
Yeah, okay. So 9.4 is it. This is still horrible. No memory errors. So we're going to dump this down here. We're going to shut this guy down here. You don't want to have any of these sensor systems open when you're doing a flash of the BIOS. You don't want to risk any other variables. I haven't had personally a problem with it. I just would not recommend having any of those things open when you're about to mess around with the BIOS. So we're going to go into our little folder that we have here, card mod, ATI Win Flash. We're going to run this as administrator. We're going to hit yes. That's going to look for the card. It gives me some basic stuff here. We're going to save the BIOS that's on there. This is the original BIOS. I'm going to take it to the desktop. I'm going to create a new folder for I won't forget it. XFX 560 4 gigabyte. In there, we're just going to call this original BIOS. Save it. It'll prompt when you actually save it. Close that. Cancel that. We want to actually get into the other tool that we have, not Claymore, let's have it. Polaris BIOS Editor. We're going to run the executable in there. You do not need to run that as an administrator. This is Polaris Editor 1.4. You can have 1.41. We'll try to get you a link out there. We've had it on several of our videos if you're looking for the Polaris Editor. And then we're going to go to the 560 4 gig into the original. We're going to hit OK on that. It gave us an error saying it's an unsupported device, but that happens on this version 1.4. If it comes up and you have lots of weird characters and stuff, that's not going to work. This actually read it fine. It's a false positive of an issue on this particular one. Again, if it's not reading it, it's not reading it.
Did we have that somewhere?
Can you please share the OC settings for the PNY 1060 3 gig to reach 24? Yes, that was at 145 GPU. It's on and 1,000. It was an 850 memory on that PNY for that super chat. Thank you very much.
What was it?
It's also in the 1060 video. The PNY 1060 videos episode, the 3 gig. Yeah, it's episode 15.
The live stream went offline. Alright.
Are we red though?
It's red.
Yeah, there's. We got it. Hey Mike, are you on the net?
What?
Are you on the Wi-Fi?
Oh, what?
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
It's killing the stream.
Tennis guy.
Are we still red on the stream?
Yeah.
We got other yeah, we're getting bad stream tonight, guys. Sorry for this. Let's see if we can correct this stream. We're gonna go there. You want to try to take this, to copy the straps?
Yeah.
Let's do 1500 through
Okay.
1500 to 2000.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna let Jason take this over. I'm gonna see if I can get this string fixed. We're gonna do 1500 to 2000 first.
Okay, let's see. So we're going to take the 1500, we're going to copy it, and we're going to paste it through. And we're going to do the same thing with the 2 group. We're going to grab the 1500 and paste it through. Oh, this one has a 2250. Hey Mike, you want me to copy this 2250 also?
Yeah, all the way down to 2250.
Okay.
All right.
So, paste it all through.
Paste it all through. We're gonna save that. Sorry again, guys, for the stream quality tonight. Having some issues. I had, I think, another thing updating up there. I cannot wait till we move into the next place. There's fiber around our area. We just don't have it here. So we're going to save that. We're going to hold all the rest of the settings right now for this BIOS. We're not going to do anything else besides the straps. We're going to try the 1500 first across everything. We're going to save this. We're going to name this XFX 560 4G T1500. And what that's telling me is all I've done is the timings, and it's the 1500 strap that we've copied downward all the way to the bottom. We're also going to keep this open right here. We're going to actually close, or we're going to hit open. We're going to open up the original again. I'm going to build a couple real quick. So this is a fast way if you want to try a couple straps. We don't have to keep going in there. So we're gonna take 1750. We're gonna copy that one into 1875. We're gonna copy that one into 2000, and we're also gonna copy that one into 2000 there. And then on the bottom one here, we're gonna copy 1750 again. So timing straps 2, and take that into 2000, and that one into 2250. We're going to save this one, and we're going to name this one the same kind of setup there, but we're going to call this one 1750. We're going to save that. Now that's the only two I'm going to do now. If we find a clock that works well, you can hard code the GPU and the memory settings. We can come to that later, but right now we're just looking at timing. When one of these timings work out, we'll try actually the 1750 first, because I believe on the microns it likes 1750, but I could be wrong off the top of my head for the 460 series. We're gonna do I'm just going back into ATI WinFlash. I'm running that as an administrator. I'm going into 560. We're gonna take 1750 first. We're gonna hit OK. That puts it in the file name path for that device. We're gonna hit program on it. Now it's writing that BIOS change to the actual card, and it's just adjusting the memory timings.
Would you purchase cards from eBay if they were sold as no video for mining?
I would not believe anybody on eBay if they have not been done for mining. More than likely they've been done for mining if they're saying that they haven't been done for mining. So, but I would not let that discourage you, because rarely do cards really burn up unless, you know, they came from somebody that wasn't really taking care of them. What I would do is I would ask the person before you buy it to take better pictures, list them up on like Imager or something, and take pictures of around the fan area, around all the cards, and just see if they look like they're decent looking, clean cards. People that take care of their cards, you know, and there's no dirt and fans, and it looks like it's been in a real tight area that hasn't had a lot of air cooling or anything, or a lot of movement, it's going to be dusty, it's going to look kind of gross. If you have a card that looks pretty pristine, it should be in pretty good shape. So, I've bought a whole bunch of different cards on eBay before. I also looked at Anadeck forums and on hardforums.com under the buy sell trade area. You'll need something, it's kind of like eBay feedback. It's called Heatware. It's kind of like the feedback for like the internet. If you're trying to sell things, but if you're trying to buy, there's a lot of people on there that buy. But you're buying from an individual. It's kind of like buying from like a digital Craigslist. But you can find some crazy deals sometimes out there for that. So with the reboot, it came up with no driver, right? Because the driver signing issue. So we go right into our little folder here. This is where we run the pixel patcher. We'll make sure that's up there. It's on several windows, or several one of our videos. So we're gonna run this guy here. Yes. And it's gonna come up, and essentially it's just gonna write the driver signature. This is really, all these other things really is not applicable, but it goes ahead and updates them. The bottom one's the one that we're looking for to have happen, which is the BIOS signature check. Since we changed that BIOS, it's saying no bueno. It's not going to happen, and it doesn't let it load any of the driver set. So this signs that and patches it. You hit OK on that. You need to reboot it, and 9 times out of 10 it fixes the issue. It signs the driver, signs the BIOS reference, and then when the machine reboots back up, it's good to go. The drivers are loaded. The only thing that happens sometimes is you'll lose like some of the other advanced features of like on some machines, not all of them, in some cards. It won't load like the other AMD driver features, such as like Wattman and some of those other things. So again, this is just like an what was this, like a Z270M mortar. This is gaming motherboard that I put in there. Takes a little longer to boot. All right, there we go. So now that fixed the issue. You notice that the driver loaded. It's not all big screen. Now the timings are in. We're not going to touch any of the clocks yet. Just yet. We're going to leave the clocks as they are. I'm actually going to go back and validate that the clocks are good by looking at MSI Afterburner. and make sure that it doesn't have anything. Yep, stock clocks 1750, 1295. Power limit's the same. Everything's good. Just taking a power check on the machine. So the idle speed on this, with nothing going on, get the right angle on this.
Tilt it forward a little bit.
Tilt it forward a little bit. There we
There
go.
we go.
So about 88, 58, 60, 60 with nothing going on. So I just wanted to get that as a baseline so you guys can kind of get an accurate reading here, or as accurate as that thing's going to be, and see what the difference is. So just out of the box, we're going to go ahead and try and run Claymore 9.5. I'm going to do just that one. I'm going to leave that there. I'm not going to move it. I'll let you get on it. What we got?
They said that you need to be quiet. You talk too much. They're trying to talk to me.
Oh, they're trying to talk to you. Yeah, there you go. I do talk way too much. I'm going for days on this stuff. So let's see. What do you guys think this thing's gonna do? Will the 1750 timing work out for it, or is it gonna hurt it, or is it not gonna do anything? It did absolutely nothing so far. Still at 8.7. $8.8. Now this is like right out of the box. I mean, we took this right up. 564 gig. All right, so not much there on the 1700 timings. We'll give it a soft overclock just to see if at 1850, actually we'll just go to 1900. We'll see if this card can handle 1900. That's usually the spot that you want to put these at. Apply that. Let's relaunch it real quick, and then we'll try the 1500 timings and reboot it. So I got the memory up to 1900. I left the GPU the same. I'll check the power on the 1900 just to see with the timings and all. It looks like it's holding it so far. It hasn't died. So far, I'd say this card is not worth it.
They're not very impressed either.
Yeah, unless something magical happens on that 1500 timing, I'd say this is a... So we got a little bump. We're up to 10 mega hash, which is crap still.
How much was the card?
How much was this card? I don't even remember.
It was Best Buy.
I will tell you guys actually.
What was it?
The 560. I want to say it was like 150 bucks or something.
It wasn't much.
130. 110.
Still, that's a little too much for 10 meg.
RX
Too much?
560?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's not good. All right. So we're gonna restart that or do that. Okay. So now we're gonna go back in and change the BIOS again now to the 1500 timings and see if that adjusts it. So back into ATI WinFlash, run that as a administrator. Yes. I'm trying to catch us up. I said I wanted this only to be an hour, and I give you guys a half hour question answer. So we're gonna do one more. This is the last thing we're doing with this card, and then we're gonna kind of just kill it. We did 17. We did 1500. I'm gonna program it. So I mean, it's a real hyper quick review of the 560, but not impressed at all. I was doing some of the benchmarking for the TI or the nVidia episode that I'm building for you guys, and that 1050 Ti, for the Win edition, I have almost a 15 mega hash, which is crazy. I'm at 14.5, and I think it still has room left. Again, that's the for the Win edition 1050 Ti, and I think those are like 140 bucks for almost 15 mega hash, about 14.6, 14.5, somewhere around there right now is what I got out of it. So you guys will see that in the video. I think we are at 14.2 in the when we did the review of it a few weeks back. But I mean, if that card's still $134, that's not bad. 15 mega hash is not bad for that.
I said it should be put out to pasture. That poor card.
Yeah, it's about done. All right, so now this is the 1500 straps. This is the last test we're going to do with it. We're going to do one test with just out of the box without any clock settings. And on this one, once I clock the settings up on it, I will try a dual mine with it just real quick, and then we'll shut it down. We'll get into question and answers, and then we'll end the stream.
Shout out to Bob.
Bob Saget hits it again. Thanks, buddy.
We love when Bob stops by.
Yeah, I love when Bob stops by. I'm glad that's helping you guys. Okay, so now this strap looks a little better. We're getting 10 out of it, 10.5. Let's let it go a few more ticks. So we took it from 8 to 10, which wasn't much. We're gonna get one more tick on it, and then I'm gonna get it bumped up. Woo! There it is. Well, we know what timing to put on it. The 1500 copied down to the all the way down. There's a 12.6. That was from 8 to 8.8 to 12.6. Let's see if one more. It's coming to life. 12.6 again. You can use the same as long as it's the same card. You can use the same BIOS on all the other cards. Well, I mean, so a best practice is to take a snapshot of each one of your cards and BIOSes and name them, like, you know, like put a sticker or a tag on them. But honestly, nobody does that. The raw BIOS, as long as it matches the memory and the model and brand of the card, you can download the stock BIOSes anywhere from those cards. There's a lot of places to do that. Looks like we're at about 12.6 here. And then you could just use that same. So if you buy all the same card, like if we had all these the same card, I would use this same BIOS that I find working across all of them. And then just have the one copy of the original. It really comes down to your patience, and if you want to take the time to snap all that, you can. We're going to go into Afterburner. We're going to kick this up to 1900. We're gonna leave the core clock and that there, and then we're only gonna make one more change after this, and that's just to try to see if we can get the power down if this is stable. Which will take the GPU and we'll take the power down, and then we'll end it on this, and we have a good benchmark. We do know though the 1500 timing though is the timing to have on this. Well, of course we'll post this BIOS out tonight out on the stream. We'll make sure if you have this or just they're around.
Power again.
The power, well, it's not really going yet, but we're at 124 right now. 125, something like that. Yeah. So the machine was 60, so you're at about 60 right now, and then we're going to take this down. I wouldn't worry about that first tick there. That's always just it's kind of, I call it kind of spooling up. Usually about the third or fourth tick is really where you see if it's stable or not, or at least initially stable or not at the speed. So right there, we're almost at 14. So this thing actually is kind of a sleeper if you don't do that timing. But that's really kind of in par with the other 460. It's like 13.7, 13.8. This is why we do these tests, guys.
Power connector on that.
Yeah, we don't have the little mini cam. It's not on, but here we'll pop that on. It's like 13.8. So almost 14. And we're at about 60 watts of power right now. I'm going to open up GPU Z and let you guys take a look at that real quick. And
Windows 7 or 10.
this is Windows 10. So the GPU is saying it's drawing about 47 watts. This little drop here is from it pinging the sensors. It should recover back to 13. Anytime you jog the card and it has to stop what it's doing to take a pulse. Well, we have 3 there. It doesn't really like this open. It should recover on this 4th one. If it doesn't, then I'll close that. Yep, close that. That or it's just not stable at this and it's starting to degrade. Or it's thermal throttling. No, there it is. It really didn't like having GPU Z open. Now it's recovered back to 13.7. So that's with those settings. We're gonna now try to just power down the output. We're gonna take the power limit down by
Memory errors.
20. Good call. You know what? It's a good call. Thank you for asking that. I want to know that. Apply. We're gonna open up this hardware sensors to see if it's dumping memory errors there. Close. We're going to minimize this. I'm putting it back out at the right power level. We're going to scroll down to see memory errors, which will be right here if they show up. We're going to relaunch this. Again, this is still with the 1900 setting. Right here is where, if it starts having errors, is where we're going to see it. Yeah, we could try 1950. Again, with this sensor up, I don't know if we'll get the... it seems like the overhead on that sensor is just not letting this thing go to its full potential. Where we're not getting any memory errors.
What do you use to check for memory errors?
It's hardware info. I don't know if you can hear. I'm going to pull this down, and you can you zoom in on that, or is it too...
Yeah, I can zoom in.
Just remember to get the little box up.
Yep.
What pool are you currently using?
Ethermine is one of the main pools. All of our big rig setup is going to ethpool.org. That's the sensor tool. Hardware, if you just type that in there, HWINFO64, if you type that in Google, you'll find it. We'll also put a link. No memory errors right now. It looks like it's holding at 13.7. Still no memory errors. So we'll close this. I do not like making changes with sensors open. Usually because it just makes the machine unstable. And we'll try 1950. I doubt this will work, but we'll try it. If it does, this should push us over 14. What's that noise? Huh? The thunder?
Thunder.
Is it? Oh, I thought it was them stomping.
Well, we got some storms coming in, I think.
Not until later.
Let's see if it posts. So I'm ignoring the first 11.
Did Ethermine go down the other night?
I don't know. I didn't have an issue with it. Oh, nope. It died. It rebooted. Did not like 1950. Hard rebooted.
So why did we test these? Just to make sure there wasn't a sleeper hiding?
Yeah, just to see. So there's some people saying for 15 you need... I don't see how you could get 15 from not adjusting the timings. This thing with us just bumping a jump. Big Ben, I'll take a note of it and do some testing offline on it and see if we can get it. But the I can't imagine it getting 15 without adjusting those timings.
Did you post the best overclock that we had for those 1070s last night?
No, we need to. So right now we were able to hold 625 on the memory on those particular ones, and I think the 135. We'll have to look at it. And they're getting 30.6. How many GPUs can I connect with an RM1000 1060s? You can connect 7 of them. You could connect 7 if you have a 6 to 8 pin adapter. The 8th one you're going to need a machine for. Alright, so 1900's not enough. We're going to do one change here, and then we're going to shut this down and answer some questions for 15 minutes and then shut her down. We're going to go here. And I'll take some of the suggestions folks did and try to test with it offline. I'm going to do what I would normally do here. Take that to actually 1088. Take power limit, unlink it. Take this down by -15. Take this to 1900. -15. 1088, 1900, apply that, and then let this run for a second, and then we'll take a look at the power. And you know, there might be some 564 gig guys with you guys making certain settings and changes, probably a little higher end one than this one, that could probably hit 15. I just want to see if we can drop the power some because it was a little high. Right now, if it stays stable at that, we're at 12.8. Let's see if it can bust 13.
There we go.
It looks like we're down almost 20 watts. So we're looking at 40, roughly a little over 40 watts, 41 watts per card. Just got my rig up 7, only one card's hashing, the others do not have a hash rate or fan speed listed. Flash up to date. 7 GPUs. Garrett, they're listed the BIOS and the flash update. I have a few different thoughts. Garrett, drop us a line. Tell us that you dropped the super chat, and I'll give you a comprehensive checklist to do to see if you can get that fixed. So it looks like we're about 13.4, and it's 20 watts less. Those look like to be some pretty good settings for it on this. Again, that was -15 to the power, 1088, 1900, gets you mid-13s at about 40 watts a card for the 564 gig. And that's with the 1500 timing, BIOS mod. Now, I saw some of the people's comments that they didn't do a BIOS mod and was able to get 15 out of it. If you were able to do that and you were the one typing that, give us a direct email at bitsbetrippin@gmail.com. If we can actually get that working and confirmed, we'll give you a shout out. I will test it. I just don't see how, without doing a BIOS update against that stock BIOS, that you're going to bust this thing over 10. Alright, so we'll shut this down. We can get Zoom back out, and I'll answer some questions for about 15 minutes. Guys, you guys had a lot of questions. We'll open up let's go ahead and open up a separate tab too and log into email, and I'll see if no questions are going. Maybe I can answer some of the questions in email. We have tons and tons of questions in email that I haven't got to, guys. And if you're in this chat, and I've answered one of your questions, you can drop in the chat to say, hey, yeah, he does respond to the emails. So I do try to get to him. Especially if you guys are investing, you know, a super chat or something like that, you know, we make sure that you guys are taken care of for sure. No idea on the 4 gig and 2 gig. I stopped buying 2 gig cards really because Ethereum's DAG can't handle it. I still have some old 2 gig cards that we can use for other stuff.
It looks so serious.
You disclose how many rigs you got running, how big is your fuse panel? Well, down here right now, we got, we don't have very many left. We started moving some of them out just because it was getting really hot down here. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down here right now. And the fuse box, that's we have 300 amp service down here. So not a ton. 3 gig or 6 gig, 10 for $70 difference. I'd go 3 gig.
Really?
Yeah. $50 is kind of the $50. I'd go with the 6 gig, but I mean, see if you can bust them down. You know, remember, retail price isn't the retail price. You take that, walk that up to somebody at the store and say, hey, you know, can we get $20 off this if I buy 6 of them? You know, I mean, work the retail a little. There's a little margin play there. When you're done mining, can you sell that 6 gig?
No.
Oh.
I was saying why go 6 gig over 3.
Well, I mean, so the 3 gig, if you're trying to dual mine, I noticed this with the PNY one that we had. With the 6 gig strict, the dual mine was a little better by about 10%, 12%.
Send us 20 cards, Cash, and we'll set that up.
Can you do a video on how to set up a 20 plus GPU setup? On a single rig, I'm trying to plan for a 13 right now. It's just hard to get 13 of the same card, of anything. So ASRock is coming out with a 13 so there was one that they had out there. They only had 8 cards plugged into it. I think they're still working some of the details out, but right now it's highly recommended. We keep telling you guys it's highly recommended to put all of the cards on the primary PSU, like where it comes to putting the risers. So all your SATA, your PATA, your 4-pin, and your SATA connectors, have that on the first PSU, using all the available PATA and 4-pin connectors you can. So that, like a T2 1600, like a T2 1600 PSU, EVGA Supernova, you can literally put like 14 to 16 cards, powered all of the risers on like a T2 1600. So we're looking at a 13 card build with that power supply being the primary, and then I'm going to have to use a secondary PSU to power the rest of the remaining of the cards. So I'm like a 1200 P2 or a T2. So that whole entire build will have 2 big PSUs on it, but more than enough ample power to power those first 13 cards. You start getting over like 14, 15 cards, you physically run out of actual connectors to keep 2 per slot. So it looks like about 14 is probably about it. But we'll see.
Have you ever tried to use 3 power supplies?
Yes. Look at, and I actually did in one of our actually video that has the most views is from 2014. It's the toxic, the R9 toxic build that we done. It's got like maybe 300,000 views on it. I put 3 power supplies on that thing. So if you scroll towards the end of the video, we had 3 power supplies in it. Those things use so much juice. I mean, that toxic rig was, if you didn't undervolt it or anything, that thing used like 3,000 watts of power. It was ridiculous. Do you know if you can safely pull 300 watts from an 8-pin? From a single 8-pin? No. From 300 watts per card is, I mean, like a 295X2 pulls 375, close to 400. So, like a 7990 pulled that kind of power too.
Somebody mentioned the nVidia 12, the cards for, or the motherboard for 12 cards.
Yeah, it's the ASRock one that has the 13.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've reached out to them. I've tried to, I'm tweeting them. I'm doing everything under the sun trying to get them. I'm trying to get the nVidia GPU cards. So if nVidia's out here lurking on our live stream, you know, send us an email, bitsbetrippin@gmail.com. I will buy the card. I will pay for it. I'll pay for the shipping. I'll pay for the return. I'll sign an NDA. Whatever you need me to do, I want to be able to test it. I want to provide you feedback. If you're sending it out to Linus and those guys, I love them, but they're not. This isn't their wheelhouse, right? So, I don't know. I mean, send it to crypto mine. I don't care. Like a miner needs to be able to get those cards and provide feedback. And you guys can help us by reaching out to them, tweet them, say, hey, you know, Bits Be Trippin', I Mine Blocks. I mean, whoever all the other streamers you guys watch, you know. BioStar has 12. I saw BioStar had the it had a board and then it had the connectors, the daughter card connectors on it.
You see these?
The 2,000 watt PSU. I mean, so LEPA had a 2,000 watt PSU. The problem with the 2,000 watt PSUs is the fact that a 20 amp circuit, you can't go much higher than that. So that's why they don't. Power supply companies would send you a 6,000 watt power supply if they could. The problem is that your normal home connector, and especially like if you guys are in apartments, you have 15 amp connections. And 15 amp, you're talking 1640, 1700 watts of power, and you're starting melting stuff. So it's physically a limitation of the infrastructure. That's why we only have 2,000 watt power supplies. But oh, we got a super chat. The build with the 1070s, you said 135, 650. How about power? Power was always at 60%, and you don't mess with the voltages. 60% power, 135, 650, and you'll pop out just at 30. It's like 30.4 mega hash on those cards per card, and you'll be using for the entire system 810 watts of power for 8 cards. That's a GTX 1070. If you guys don't know, if you guys didn't see last night's stream, go out there, look at that stream towards the end. You can fast forward through it, just, you know, hit the skip and go ahead and you'll see where it kind of came to. Alright guys, we're going to do about 10 more minutes and we're going to shut it down. We're giving you guys back the 10 minutes that we said that we would do when we went down. Let me post the link to the RX.
How to connect your cards with a PCI slot.
How can I connect? You don't connect your cards to a PCI slot, and don't plug a riser into a PCI slot unless you want a fireworks show. What else do we got, guys? Yes, Richard, I did see that. I'll get that to you right after this. The gray matter. I got a tape measure around here somewhere. Maybe.
We need an archive of our BIOS.
I have a whole archive. I got 2 of the main contributors to the website in here tonight, and we do got it on the board to have an archive of all of our BIOSes. We have a database of all of them, so it's just a matter of exposing those, getting those out to you guys. That'll be part of that website. Can you mine off a USB drive with Windows 10? Yes, you can. Windows on the go with a USB, it works perfectly fine.
How long until you think the 3 gig 1060s are unusable?
November through January of this year.
But that's just unusable for ETH. They'll still
Just
be
ETH.
good for other things.
Oh, dude, Scott. What? What?
Somebody said it earlier.
Just dropping knowledge.
Somebody said
Yes,
it earlier.
she's correct. So ETH, if they do not have proof of stake hybrid or proof of stake yet, you're looking at DAG growth anywhere from November through just January of the DAG hitting over a 3 gig. And actually, it changes. It's not as straight linear as you would think. So it's anywhere from November to January, the DAG getting around that 3 gig. But you can mine Zcash. I mean, most of the things you're talking about 3 gig cards, you're talking NVIDIA cards, which do Zcash much better.
If ever we run into 20 GPUs, you will do that episode, right?
Yeah, if I get 20 GPUs that are out there and I can manage all the power, yes, I'll try it. I'm trying 13 right now. I'm waiting to get all the parts in for 13, and or if ASRock sends me one.
3 power supplies.
It would be. It depends what cards it is, but I could probably 10. I can't get 10 on one PSU, so it'd be 3. It'd be definitely 3. 3 would be 18.
Well, if that's I'm gonna do 6 for PSU.
Yeah, I could do it. That's 24.
Squeeze 7 on PSU.
Alright guys, about 5 more minutes and then we're going to kill this stream.
Where do we buy cards?
Everywhere. Micro Center, Best Buy, drive all over the place. Amazon a lot.
Have a team.
A team of people that can go out and find them everywhere.
'Cause you can't expect to go to a store and buy 8 all at once.
No,
right?
you gotta. I mean, anymore, especially now, you can't. There's no store's gonna sell you 8. It's very rare. I did see. We were just in Best Buy earlier today, and they were discounting and selling 1070s. Okay.
You didn't buy any?
Listen to this, oh, guys. Well, I mean, what? You didn't buy any? No, I didn't. I'm trying to leave some out there for some folks. Micro Center is another one. We don't have a Fry's around here unless I drive up to Chicago. After the stream, guys, I'll fire this up, try Zcash, and I'll post the results in the thing. And then when I do kind of more of a deeper dive video, you'll see the Zcash in there. I can't imagine it doing too good. All right, 2 more minutes, guys. I'm gonna shut it down at 10:10 my time.
Your placement of motherboards in a rig.
So most like this one, or you really can't see it. It's usually towards the front, left. If I'm looking at the rig where the card's set, so it doesn't matter. It's a box, right? So whatever side you choose to put cards on, front left towards the front. No reason for it at all. It doesn't matter.
Any new info on the Vegas?
The only info I think there was some new info that came on the Vegas, right? There's no GPU, no game. The gaming versions are not going to be out first. It's going to be workstation versions, and the minimum price. And I'm looking at Jason right now. I don't know minimum price Vegas. What do we see for that? 1,200.
So the Vega Founders editions are going to be workstation class cards.
Yeah.
And supposedly they're coming out later this month. The air-cooled version is going to be $1,200, and the water-cooled version is going to be $1,800.
$1,800. So yeah, it's more than a Pro Duo start price. They're crazy. I wonder if they're dual card. So we'll find out what they are. I mean, and
the article also said that the gaming Vegas are going to or should be out in July.
yeah, late July. So supposedly there's might be some out there. We'll see, guys, what we can get our hands on.
He said pre-orders are open.
Now on 2 sites, here's the deal. I'm scared of pre-orders. I think they're just trying to get your, I mean, most of the time it's just held money, but don't do any pre-orders that they require all your cash up front. Because more than likely, they won't get their supply before you'll be able to go out into a store and buy it. So, we got super chat.
That was 144. That's anyway.
Regular temperatures. Thank you for the reliability. Sweat me in the wire. Sorry. What's the air ambient temperature for your rigs? Right now, air ambient temperature, we have a, I don't know where, we have an air temperature, I think it was like 79, 80 degrees in here right now. It's pretty warm. We don't have a cool enough AC in here. About 80. I have no idea where it's at. Thrown away.
Didn't get thrown away. Act like everything's gone.
RX 550 video. Yeah, maybe when we go out and we'll pick up one. I mean, after seeing this Force 560, it makes me scared of the 550.
Should go with a 1070 or an RX 570.
I'd go with an RX 570 as you can find it at close to original prices. GTX 1070 is more of a long-term purchase. And it's other...
Jason found it, yay!
Air ambient temperature in here right now is 79. At 30% humidity.
$1070 or 1080 Ti?
1070 all day long. 1080 Ti is expensive. Alright guys, we're going to wrap it up. What do you think? We'll probably, so I'll have a couple episodes out this next week. I'm going out of town tomorrow, so you guys will probably see more of a vlog type of videos coming out. Probably I may do a live stream when I'm out of town. Maybe another question and answer. There's some other things I wanted to get out to you guys. There's a lot of stuff I've recorded that I have not got it out in an episode. So we're going to wrap this one up. And we'll take a look at the chat. You guys can check us out in Discord on bitsbetrippin.com. Go out there. There's a Discord server out there. Definitely like and subscribe and share, man. You guys spreading this out helps us get all this information out. And remember, don't forget to use these resources. If you guys are getting other friends and family into this, or whoever else, you know, people are asking about, hey, where you spend all this money on building rigs and stuff. You can use these as source, you know, videos. I mean, obviously it's fun to talk about, but you know, if you're getting frustrated, send them our way. Get them out there and have them watch the videos. Thanks again, and let me see. Bye bye. Got Miss BBT on the screen. We'll catch you guys later.